You stand up to get something from the kitchen. It takes 45 seconds. You return to find your cat occupying your exact spot, settled in as though they've been there for hours, looking at you with an expression that reads as entirely unashamed. If you've lived with a cat, this has happened. It happens so reliably that most people treat it as a joke, a cat being a cat, doing the funny seat-stealing thing. The internet is full of memes about it. The standard explanation is warmth. You left a warm spot. Cats like warmth. Case closed. But like most cat behaviors that get treated as charming quirks, there's a convergence of mechanisms underneath it that are worth understanding. And warmth, while real, is not the primary driver. Let's start with your scent. We've established across this week that your scent functions as a cortisol suppression signal for your cat. The 2017 study from Applied Animal Behavior Science showed that cats exposed to their owner's scent showed significantly lower cortisol than those exposed to a stranger's scent or no scent at all. Your chemical signature, deposited on surfaces through skin contact, actively reduces the stress response. Here's what that means in practice. Your cat's olfactory cortex, the part of the brain that processes smell, contains approximately 200 million scent receptors. That's 14 times the number in a human nose. When those receptors detect a familiar scent associated with safety, the signal travels through the olfactory bulb to the amygdala, which is the threat assessment center. If the amygdala recognizes the scent as owner, safe, it reduces the activation of the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which is the system that produces cortisol. This is not metaphor. This is measurable neurochemistry. Your scent signature literally lowers your cat's baseline stress. Your seat is one of the highest concentration deposits of your scent in the house. You've been sitting in it regularly, for extended periods, for months or years. The fabric has absorbed layers of your skin chemistry, dead skin cells, sweat, sebum, the volatile organic compounds your body releases constantly. To your cat, who has a nose 14 times more sensitive than yours, that seat smells intensely of the individual whose chemical signature their olfactory cortex has filed as safe. The concentration matters. A doorknob you touched once carries trace scent. A pillow you slept on for 6 hours carries moderate scent. A seat you've occupied daily for a year carries saturated scent. Your cat can differentiate these concentration levels, and they preferentially seek the highest concentrations when they're looking for cortisol suppression. When your cat sits in your seat, they're not primarily seeking warmth. They're sitting inside the most concentrated available version of the scent that suppresses their stress response. It's the same reason they need your blanket and sleep on your clothing when you're away. The scent is the primary attractant. Warmth is a bonus. There's a second mechanism running alongside the cortisol suppression one: scent mixing. When your cat sits in your seat and presses their body into the fabric, they're not just absorbing your scent. Their own scent glands, cheeks, chin, paws, the sebaceous glands along their flanks, are depositing their signature over yours. This is the same scent-mixing behavior we talked about with bunting and kneading. In cat social dynamics, overlapping scents is how colony members communicate belonging. Here's why that matters. In feral colonies, cats who share territory create what researchers call a colony odor, a blended scent profile that identifies members of the same social group. This blending happens through mutual grooming, bunting, and body contact with shared surfaces. When two cats who recognize each other as colony members encounter a surface that smells like both of them, it reinforces the social bond. The mixed scent is a signal. We share this space. We belong to the same group. Your cat is doing this with you. Mixing your scent with theirs, in the space that most strongly carries your signature, is a relationship maintenance behavior. They're not taking your seat from you. They're merging it with themselves. And they return to this behavior regularly, daily, in most households, because scent signatures degrade over time. The mixed scent needs maintenance. The seat needs to smell like both of you, not just you. The frequency of this behavior tells you something about the strength of the attachment. A cat who takes your seat once a week is maintaining a loose social connection. A cat who takes it within seconds of you leaving every single time is maintaining a very strong one. The third mechanism is social learning. In 2020, researchers at the University of Vienna published findings on social learning in domestic cats, specifically whether cats observe and model their owner's behavior. The answer was yes, in measurable ways. Cats who watched their owners interact with objects showed significantly higher rates of subsequently interacting with those objects themselves, compared to cats who hadn't observed the interaction. Your cat watches you sit in that seat, day after day. They watch you relax there. They watch you spend extended time there in a low activation state, reading, watching television, using a phone. They watch your body language shift from alert to settled. Over time, the seat becomes associated with exactly what they see you doing in it, settling, deactivating, resting. This is not projection. Cats are observational learners. If an object or location is repeatedly associated with a specific behavior from a trusted individual, the cat maps that association. The seat becomes the place where the safe individual goes to rest. If it's good enough for you, whose threat assessment your cat has already completed and cleared, it's worth investigating for the same purpose. There's also a secondary learning component here: resource quality assessment. In multi-cat households or feral colonies, cats observe which individuals claim which resting spots. The highest status individuals tend to claim the thermally optimal, elevated, or protected spots. Your cat has observed that you consistently return to this specific seat. You defend it from others. You move objects off it. You sit back down if someone else takes it. From your cat's perspective, this is high-value resource behavior. The seat must be good because you keep claiming it. The fourth mechanism is pattern recognition, and this is the one that explains the timing. Cats are, as we've established, extraordinarily sensitive to pre-movement signals. The micro-shift in your posture before you stand, the change in your breathing pattern, the weight transfer from settled to preparation, the slight forward lean that precedes rising. Your cat has observed these patterns across hundreds of repetitions. They know the sequence. They know what about to stand looks like, even when you don't consciously realize you're doing it yet. And they begin moving toward the seat while you're still in it, because by the time you've completed the standing motion, they want to be at the transition point. This is not psychic. It's behavioral prediction from extensive observation. The 45-second retrieval from the kitchen is, from the cat's perspective, plenty of time. They knew you were leaving before you left. They've been waiting for this moment since they detected the pre-movement signal 30 seconds ago. Some cats are so accurate at this prediction that they'll position themselves near the seat before you've even started the standing sequence. They've learned that certain contexts precede standing. You reach for a remote. You close a book. You set down a cup. These are second-order signals, behaviors that predict the behavior that predicts standing. The cat who seems to appear out of nowhere the instant you stand has been monitoring for these signals and positioning accordingly. This level of pattern recognition requires sustained attention over long periods. Your cat has been watching you closely enough, consistently enough, to build a predictive model of your movement patterns. That's a significant investment of cognitive resources. It doesn't happen for individuals the cat isn't tracking. The fifth mechanism is territorial and social. In feral cat colonies, the individual who occupies the best resting resources, elevated, protected, thermally optimal spots, tends to be the individual with the highest social status. This doesn't mean dominant in the linear hierarchy sense. It means the individual with the most secure position in the social network, the one other cats are least likely to challenge. The principle that the prime resting spot belongs to the most socially significant individual is embedded in cat social architecture. It's not learned. It's default behavior, visible in colonies with no prior human contact. Your seat is the prime resting resource in your living space. You return to it consistently. It carries your scent most strongly. Your cat has observed that you are the individual in the household who controls the most resources: food, doors, access to outdoors, access to other rooms. When they sit in your seat, they're not challenging your status. They're associating with it. The seat carries the social weight of the household's resource controller, and occupying it, even briefly, activates whatever neurological reward is associated with access to prime social status markers. In a feral colony, this would be the equivalent of resting in the spot usually occupied by the most secure, well-fed, socially connected member. It's a marker of proximity to safety. Your cat isn't trying to be you, but they are trying to be close to the version of safety and resource access that you represent. The seat is the physical location most strongly associated with that. Now, warmth. Is warmth real? Yes. Your body heat lingers in upholstered furniture for several minutes after you leave. The exact duration depends on the fabric, the ambient temperature, and how long you were sitting. Cats run warmer than humans. Their baseline body temperature is around 101.5 degrees Fahrenheit compared to human 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and they prefer warmer environmental temperatures. So warmth is a genuine attractant, but it's not the primary driver. If it were, your cat would take any recently vacated warm seat equally. Guest's seat, child's seat, anyone's seat. Most cats preferentially take the primary owner's seat, the seat that smells most like the person with the highest relationship investment. You can test this. Leave your seat, go to another room, and wait 10 minutes. The warmth will be gone. Most cats will still take the seat. They'll settle into the spot that no longer carries any residual heat because the scent is still there. The cortisol suppression signal doesn't degrade in 10 minutes. It lasts as long as the scent molecules remain active on the fabric, which can be hours or days depending on airflow and humidity. Warmth contributes, but the scent cortisol mechanism and the social significance are driving the preference, with warmth as a contributing factor. Here's what this video is actually about. Your cat taking your seat is a convergence of several things at once. Cortisol suppression from concentrated scent mixing as relationship maintenance, social learning from watching you, behavioral prediction from pattern recognition, and territorial association with social significance. It happens within seconds of you leaving because the system has been monitoring for the opportunity and the prediction is accurate. It's not funny. Well, it's a little funny. But it's also one of the most consistent expressions of your cat's attachment system in action. They want to be where you are, in the space that most strongly carries your presence, doing what they've watched you do. The seat is the intersection of scent, observation, and social security. Taking it is not theft, it's participation. Tomorrow we go into how your cat maps their entire physical world through scent, and why understanding that map changes how you should think about home rearrangement, cleaning, and any change in the physical environment.